Hi, everybody. It's Alissa from the Early Learning Program Accreditation Department here with another 5 things to know. Today, I have Kathy Elijah joining us. She is one of our Early Learning Program Department rock stars. If you have called to ask a question about the accreditation portal, more than likely you have had the chance to talk to Kathy. So today, Kathy's here with me to talk about a really important step that you can take in the accreditation portal as you're making your payment called Bill Me Later. And Bill Me Later is something that we know there's a lot of confusion around. So it seemed like a great topic to be able to bring to a 5 things you need to know. So first thing that we want to talk about is what is a Bill Me Later? So Kathy, tell us a little bit about what Bill Me Later is.
Okay, a Bill Me Later is a payment option that we offer within the accreditation portal. And the Bill Me Later allows a program to pay for their accreditation fee in full later. And the Bill Me Later is actually a promise to pay, but is not the actual payment. All Bill Me Later requests must be approved by NEUIC prior to the program moving forward in the accreditation process.
Great. So I think one of the most important things in what you just said is that the Bill Me Later is the promise to pay. And I think a lot of our programs get confused because they think they paid, but really what they've done is just said, you know, we will pay for that based on, and we'll talk about the reasons why you might use a Bill Me Later. But if you've done the Bill Me Later in the portal and you haven't gone back in to either put in payment information or send us a check, you have not paid for your annual fees. And so that's a really important part of all of this. So one of the things that happens when you create a Bill Me Later is you generate an invoice for payment. So Kathy, what's the program's responsibility for generating that invoice?
Okay, so it's the program's responsibility to generate an invoice for their account. It also is the program's responsibility to update the current checklist in the portal prior to completing the payment task. Note, the number of the children in the program profile determines the accreditation fee for that is currently due.
And that's really important because a lot of times programs don't update the number of children and then their payments might be off. And we see that a lot right now with COVID, that your numbers are probably lower than they have been previously. And so you should go in and take a look at what you have put for your enrollment and update that. We also see that this can be frustrating for programs that have like a third party that's paying for their accreditation fees. So if you have an AFP or some other group, a state or a school district that is responsible for paying your fees, they're paying based on what they know your enrollment is. And if the enrollment that you have in the portal doesn't match with what they know, your payment's not going to be working out. So do make sure that you complete that checklist, you update all of the items in the portal before you make any sort of a payment, whether that's a Bill Me Later or just a regular credit card payment. So Kathy, what is required for a Bill Me Later? Who should use the Bill Me Later feature in the portal?
Well, we have the NEUIC that are like what you spoke about, the approved vouchers from the different organizations that our finance team knows about. Then we have programs that want to use purchase order, so they get one from their finance team. And so that we have that. And then we have people that can also use checks.
Great. So if you are a program who is not doing any of those things, so you don't have an approved voucher, so you would know if you have that. And a lot of times those folks are a part of these larger systems like our military childcare or someone that NACCE has a financial relationship with, a contract with to make payment. Or if you are not using a purchase order, a lot of times we see purchase orders from places like university childcare. The university provides the purchase order, or school district. Or if you are not paying by check. So if you plan to pay by credit card, you should not be using Bill Me Later. You should be just paying for that when you do your annual report. So I just want everybody to know that on the website, you will find a detailed list of all of the steps that we're talking about today. So you can go back and reference that. And on that list, you're going to see the steps you would take to use Bill Me Later, so that if that is something that you meet all the criteria, you're able to then go back and do that and see all the steps for it. So number 4 on our 5 things you need to know is, how do I get a green check mark on the checklist for Bill Me Later? So Kathy, how does a program do that?
Well, once you have entered the PO number, PO or the check number, or uploaded a voucher, and that you follow the steps, then after that you click on the submit button, then click on the submit button again, and then you'll get a confirmation number. That confirmation number is the actual invoice number that that'll match up for whatever whenever you're making your payment, it'll match up with that.
Great. So, important thing to remember, that when you create that invoice, that's what you're going to pay from, is that invoice. The invoice is not the payment. That's the proof that you agreed to pay us. So for those programs who have gone through the Bill Me Later process, they've created an invoice, and now they're like, oh gosh, I forgot I created that invoice. I need to go back and find that so I can make my payment. How do they locate previously generated invoices?
So all the invoices are in the portal, and all they have to do is on the left-hand side under the program dashboard, you could go down to payment history, and since primary and the secondary have full rights to the accreditation portal, they have that right to go down there, and they can locate, they'll see when they open that up, they'll see open and closed invoices. So that allows them at any time to either go down there to make payments, or if their finance department says, hey, we would like to look at this invoice, they can go down there, locate it, they can print it out, and then they don't need to call in and say, could you print out an invoice for us? It's right there, right in the portal.
That's awesome. I think that a lot of times, our portal can be confusing sometimes. And so anytime we can break it down and tell people where to find the information that they need is so important. So yes, if you have an invoice and you haven't paid it, go back and take a look, or take a look to see if you paid your invoices. That might be a first step for everyone to be able to do. And then you can either pay by credit card directly in the portal, or print that invoice out and mail it in with a check. And we're happy to receive your payment any way that you want to give it to us. Okay, well, I think that we've given you a lot of information about Bill Me Later today. Like I said before, check out the link on the website. You can go to the Early Learning Program Accreditation page on our NACCE website. Look for program news, and that's where you're going to find all of the 5 things you need to know, including this one. And this document that Kathy is painstakingly put together with all the steps you need to do a Bill Me Later will be available for you. Thank you, Kathy, for joining us today. We're so happy to be able to have our NACCE staff members share great information with our programs, and to be able to put some faces to the names that you might see through email or hear over the phone. So everybody have a great day, and we'll see you next month.